TGIF. It's Doc from North America. Let's see, the numbers are out on unemployment, I imagine. Yeah, I can see action, ACTION. You know, they sold them down about 45 minutes ago in the stock market. They sold them not all the way around, though, which is kind of curious. Let me just show you real quick here. And we'll see what the Dukascopy calendar shows us on the situation there. You can see here, this is the NASDAQ 100. They took it, it's pretty much down about 80 points from its high today. 85 points, something like that. And the Dow Jones Industrial Average now is, where's the Dow Jones? It's up 92 points. These things seem to be jumping in different directions constantly now. Over here is the S&P 500. You can see that's down off of the, since the news right there. There's the news at, where's the news at? The news is right there. There's the news, right there. You see they took it up first, they take it down, and we'll take a look at Dukascopy and see what we can see on the data. But overall, it seems like the NASDAQ stocks, which are very interest sensitive, they do lots of, they're capital intensive, so they're always borrowing capital. So whatever number came out, has them shaken on some level or another. Let's tune into Dukascopy too, so I can see if the chat line has anybody saying, hey, I saw the numbers and they look X. They look like...
Hello, my name is Ivan.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Okay, so in the end result, okay, yeah, good. You can see there, the charts look good. I can hear me. Everybody else can hear me out there, right? That's good. All right, so that's the action we're seeing there. I'm not taking it too serious. It's just background noise, I mean, that's all it really is. And you can see right there, the NASDAQ itself is trying to battle its way up already. It's trying to lift. Matter of fact, they're probably given an excuse to make another all-time high. I mean, that's what the other two are doing at the moment. They're doing all-time highs. So, and matter of fact, right now, the NASDAQ is at an all-time high. So I think that is an all-time high, yeah. Look at it climb. Whatever news that came out, obviously, is not anywhere near dire than... hey, Douglas, how you doing? Are you hearing me loud and clear today? Just double-checking. Just double-checking. Let's see. Let me go... there's the economic calendar. Let's see what the numbers look like here. So, there they are. Okay. 8:30 Eastern Standard, 4.9 actual. They were looking for 4.6. So average hourly earnings, okay, was up. That's good. Non-farm payrolls was 531,000. They were expecting 207,000. So people were getting hired. Unemployment rate is at 4.6. The forecast was 4.7. So it's dropping. I mean, the economy's coming back. I'm not sure what else they need to talk about at that point. I would imagine that's all good. Let's see. Do we have any other news out here today? I don't see anything else. That's it. After that, it's just labor force. No, that's it. That's it. All waiting for Monday again on good, for news. So that's the action we see. Let's take a look at the Swiss franc. Because boy, did they buy the dollars yesterday. They went after those dollars at the end of the day. Right there, they're still doing it. There's a Swiss. Swiss is still moving up. We're a second day in a daily buy now, right there. And over on J4X, you can see they are doing the same thing. Let's see if we can move this over like so. There we are. You can see it there. They're trying to lift this up too. See, doing the same thing right there. We got a green going on where the white line is through. They're doing some buying in there. The only thing that's not really lifting is look at that weekly. Weekly doesn't really care. It's just, this could be just profit taking, nothing more than that. This whole action we're seeing right now could be just as simple as just profit taking. Yep, profit taking. I know, it's hard to believe, isn't it? But it does, it works that way. And there's not much that can stop it. But that is the answer to it all in the end. It's just profit taking. Alright. Let's jump over to, let's see, where do we go from here? Let's take a look at the euro. I saw them push that into a sell there yesterday. Right there. and it's breaking down below the range totally at this point. I don't have any opinion. I don't know what the story is. All I know is the math keeps on telling us don't be long. Every time it gives us a chance to think of that we could get long. Look at it. We had the little circly thing going on right there. We put it there. You know, it was through the weekly buy number. You know, you can see the green line trying to pierce the time manifold from being underneath here, from going into the weekly sell up in here. But each time they try to get it to go, it don't go. It just doesn't. Douglas, you do hear me, right? Just double checking. Somebody just throw a little something out there to let us know you can hear me. I just want to make sure. What I did was that Monday where I ended up talking for a half hour or 20 some odd minutes, I guess it was. And was that this week, the hurricane, or was it last week? These natural disasters seem to just fly by. So that's the end of that recipe there. But let's take a look at it on J4X. And there it is, the euro against the dollar. And I'm sure the line is moving down just like ours is right here on the J4X. And there it is, yeah. You see it's down. It challenged the dashed line but failed at it. Loud and clear. 5 by 5. Thank you, Middle Age. Thank you. And TGIF, thank goodness it's Friday. How about that gold and silver, huh? They perked her back up again. They can't hold it down. And then I saw this headline today. Oh my God. I should go find the headline. It was in Zero Hedge. And it said something like, let me see if I can find it. It was pretty freaky, scary. It made me even think for a little bit. It was a headline that said, super inflation, or out of control inflation is still 4 years away. And I was like, oh, joy. It's hard to believe. I kind of doubt that, but let me see if I can find that headline. And let's see. Pfizer shares surge. That is 89% effective preventing. Okay, Bitcoin pumps and dumps after Kruger. Let's see. Future melt up, new record high. Yeah, we'll find it. Yeah, it says that they're basically, there's talk that this inflation. They think that there's some people out there starting to think that this inflation that we're starting to see is at the beginning. They're really convinced this is at the beginning, not at the end of it. I myself think that that we're going to get more control over the crazy and these socialists that have gotten control of the government, and that will chill it out. It'll stop. But let me see if I can find it. I didn't read the article, but it's something to think about. And when you talk about metals, it's definitely something you want to think about, in the sense of how can they just sit still like this year in and year out. I mean, it just let's see, inflation, where are you? I'll find it. But yeah, can you imagine that they're thinking that the inflation is just starting? To me, I think Mr. Trump has shown us very clearly when he was president that well-managed government can chase away a lot of these problems very quickly. Reagan, had to bring rates down from 21%. And he did. I mean, he cut them in half over an 8-year period, even less than that. I'm not totally convinced. Here it is. Mainstream has inflation story backwards. That's what it says. Let's see if we can put this up on the screen here. It's definitely well worth looking at here. Mainstream has inflation story backwards. I didn't even read the article. I find it interesting. So Mainstream blames inflation on supply chain bottlenecks, but they have it completely backward. In reality, Federal Reserve created inflation is causing the supply chain mess. Okay. So according to Biden administration, we already know that's all spin. This sounds like a lot of spin, but one sense the Mainstream is right, as Mrs. Institute senior editor, Mrs. Institute, whatever that is. I guess this institute is basically saying that it's going to increase. The idea that supply chain, see, they keep on talking about supply chain. Initially, Americans saved a lot of stimulus money. Okay. I'm just suggesting these might read it. I think I'm going to read it later on, but I find it interesting. I would like to see a 1810 gold close and $24 silver close. Boy, honestly, I am still amazed. You know, let's just jump over to the metals complex, because that inflation stuff is definitely well worth thinking about. Let's see, here it is. Here is the gold, and you can see gold. It's not exploding. You know, it's just kind of moving up after yesterday's move, holding. You know, we're going to close in a weekly buy, and then right there, let's show you the silver. Silver, same way. You know, it's like they've turned it off now. You know, they had that big move. Now they've turned it off. It's gone to sleep, and it's going to hold up in the weekly buy again. And you just got to wonder, you know, when are they going to get back into the 30s when it comes to silver? You know, it should be up in the 30s. You know, when is gold going to be seeing 19.5, 20 again? You know, $1,950 to $2,000. I just have a hard time believing they can sit down here with all this very disruptive economic policy, this Soviet Union planned economy thing that's going on. Maybe the markets are recognizing that, and that's why they don't explode as much. But I really have my doubts that the market itself is really in control of the metals complex. To me, it's all the central banks, and specifically, it's the Federal Reserve. So, as we take a sip of our tea. All right, now let's jump back to the currencies. But I'm right there with you, Middle Age. I'm always surprised that we're not seeing better action in the metals complex. Let's see. So let's see. There it is, right there. Let's take a look at the British pound. British pound is getting slammed too, back down to the bottom end of its range. Hard to believe that. I guess they were really looking forward to rate increases, and that has really shaken up the general major currencies. And you can see here, look at the way that thing looks like a waterfall. We're down at the bottom end of the range when you look at it. See it right there. So we've got to wonder if we're going to see just a little bit of bounce. We're at the bottom end of the range where we watch it over here, and you can see we're playing with the 0.23 at this point. So they've really knocked it down. Let's see, what else can we say? Very disappointed it didn't get into that weekly buy. Like same thing like the euro. Oh no, in this case here it wasn't a weekly buy, and now it's blown itself into underneath into the weekly sell, and it's below the manifold on a Friday. So there's going to be pressure on this product, or if nothing else, they're going to zigzag this 23 line for a little while in here. They're just going to, the 0.23. They'll just play with that, dip down a little bit, try to play above it, and then I guess the next shoe, whatever the next big economic number comes out, we'll start to shake it again. Everybody's waiting for Mr. Biden to say yes, Mr. Powell is going to stay in his job. I myself keep on thinking they want to blow him out the door. At least that's the way I see it. I thought Blinder was going to come in. I thought they were going to finally put Blinder in. But I guess Blinder doesn't want it at this point. He's a classic socialist economist. He runs Princeton Economic Department and has that stuck as a bottleneck right there. And he's been that way for 20 some odd years and 30 some odd years. What am I saying? Since the 80s. What am I saying? Blinder's been running the place at Princeton since the early 80s, late 70s. So he was vice chair under Greenspan, I guess it was, at one point. I think Bill Clinton put him in. So, I always thought that they were going to try to slide him in, but he may not even be progressive enough. He may be just your classic liberal Democrat in the sense of, somebody if you've noticed, the head of the Bill Clinton's guy for economic policy and so forth. I can't think of his name. He was head of the Harvard. He was dean of Harvard, the university, and he's talking very harsh against these guys now for over a year. He thinks that economically they are totally backwards. He is not supportive of all of these policies. So, we're watching some really strange events going on. They're talking about a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. They don't think that they'll be able to turn America socialist for another 100 years if they don't get it done now. That's why they're pushing. They don't care. They're willing to do anything they can to change policies so that they can, push us more towards a socialist country. And that's why they're willing to lose elections after elections. They're getting clocked everywhere around the country. Seattle, Colorado, Texas. I heard a seat was flipped to a Republican in Texas for it never had been a Republican seat. It's the guy won big, like 10%. Here in New Jersey, everything but the governor. So far, the governor's not decided even because it's so tight. But they're trying to steal it on a statewide level. But the president of the Senate got blown out by a couple thousand votes, big numbers. And a guy who spent $156, a truck driver, has won his seat. So it just shows you the anger here in the States and the economic policies that are just going totally backwards. All right. Now let's jump over to the Turkish lira. Let's see what they're doing to that today. Dollar's been very strong. Holding up, not lifting like it was a couple days ago with that, on Wednesday when it made that nice little move there. But we're going to be staying in a weekly buy with no problem whatsoever. You can see the strength there. Take a look at it on J4X. Right there. So that is really the gist of it all. Dollar is firm. You see it as we showed you through the Swiss, the Euro, and the British pound. Dollar's firm. Wonder how the dollar index is doing. I saw last night that yesterday the dollar index still closed in a daily sell, but it was back up again through its weekly. So you can see this, which had dropped underneath, is now back above, and you can see the daily is popping back here. So I kind of classified it as a flight to safety yesterday. I was saying that to my sons, who are crypto traders, and I was saying, it looked like flight to safety where they're buying dollars, and they haven't given up. They haven't stopped doing that. So whatever is making the markets nervous, and it can be even America making the markets nervous. Anything's possible. I can say this. Another one of those real estate companies in China. There's 2 China stories out today that are very fascinating that have a lot to do with what I think we're seeing. One was another one of the major real estate companies couldn't pay on its bonds, and the numbers are so small. That's the amazing part, is that how does the government allow that to happen? I mean, you're talking about like a payment of $20 million or $30 million, not billion, not trillion, just million. I mean, if you're really threatening to be the largest economy in the world, what is $20 million out of the Treasury? I mean, just throw it to the company, make them float you a note, put it in your Federal Reserve, and call it a day. I mean, that's what quantitative easing is all about. But no, the Chinese are having that issue. Then, this is a really strange one. They're walking back the idea that they're going to attack Taiwan, which is very strange, and this is the reason why. They're saying that people in China have gotten nervous because of all the war talk, and they're clearing out the stores of goods. They're stockpiling as if they're going to go to war. And the government is trying to convince them not to do that, and that they're not going to go to war. War is not imminent. So, this is what happens when you have central control, economies. You get this, in an era where people are hearing more news than ever before. Be it good news or bad news or whatever news, but you're getting more information faster. So the Chinese government right now is trying to make it clear to their population they are not going to attack Taiwan. Now, I don't know how, the American media is probably not even paying attention to it, but I saw that story today, and that was really something, and I thought to myself, wow, that has to make, the dollar look good, I thought. And then I start looking at the dollar this morning, and all I see is more strength than yesterday. So, are they running to it because they know there's not going to be war? and that really, in the end result, the United States is going to be just the one major currency out there. You know, what God knows what the story is. I just kind of just let it be, you know. I just follow the numbers. All right, let's take a look at the euro against the Turkish lira. You know, just follow the numbers and the end result. Me trying to figure out what the story is. When I see these headlines, I find it fascinating. But in the end result, I would not trade off of them. I just trade off the math itself. That's the safest way to trade. Right there it is. There's the euro Turkish lira, kind of flattish, even down a little bit, right? You see the red right there. J4X will start to catch up soon. This will start to push down. We'll start to see this white line over the next 45 minutes start to turn down if it's going to stay right there. And you can see right there, it's, you know, ours has already started to curve. I don't know if they're going to get it into a sell. I don't know if, you know, if the dollar is going to weaken against that or not. I don't see any particular reason. Who knows? You know, maybe it's weekend noise. You know, there used to be years ago, there were certain products that had problems on Friday afternoons. You know, because they weren't sure what was going to be disseminated. You know, information coming out over the weekend. And Turkish lira, to some extent, is that way. You know, you're not sure if you really want to be in a position where, you know, you're looking for it to go higher here, solely because you don't know if they're going, you know, Erdogan is going to come out with some type of statement that initiates, you know, opportunity for that. You know, we just don't know. So, what else can we say about any of this? I guess that's about it. We are just at that point where, you know, the dollar's firm. I mean, that's what it really comes down to, and all the products are starting to show it. Why it's firm, how long it's going to be firm, we just follow the numbers, traders. And you can see from all our, you know, Chicago Quant in particular, you can see it on the J4X, the pressures that we're seeing. All right, let's take a look at the Canadian. Right there. And as you can see there, the Canadian is, let's see what it's doing here. Right there. Canadian is about unchanged, maybe just a tick or two down in a daily buy now for going on 4 full days, heading for a 5th. You know, they've been lifting it up ever since we started to find out that who won the election. I didn't even know the election had ended. All I knew is in September, late September, when they talked about it, only one time they were talking about it here in the States. You know, I just assumed it was going to be like in the first week or two of October, but it wasn't. It was at the end of September. But they never really reported how they did, you know, what had happened. And so the Canadian has obviously been, you know, Trudeau did not win a majority, but he's still Prime Minister. So it's kind of like stuck right where they are. He was hoping, I guess, to get a majority out of this time, but not really happening. I guess that was a prelude to Virginia, you know. Except for here in the States, you know, things are even more dicier and, you know, becoming more shaken up. All right, let's take a look at. From here we go back to the metals complex real quick, just to get a flavor of the what's going on there. And that is, you can see over here on J4X, you can see the gold right there, just kind of sideways, you know, nothing major. Right there, you see our silver right there, sideways, doing nothing major. It's like just like the gold, you know, just hanging around. You know, this complex overall is just the one that's really, I guess you could say, of anything out of the three, or the two. We watch gold and we watch crude oil when we watch the Canadian. So you can see here, they had knocked down oil yesterday, and you can see it. Let's see if we can put it up on here. And it's up a little bit today from it. You know, nothing major. They are flirting with a weekly sell, as you can see right there. And we've been in a daily sell for 3 days. So the pressure is on. They don't know which way to go, I guess. I have a hard time believing, with the weather getting cold and the winter coming on here in Northern Hemisphere, that we're going to see not much. You know, maybe it'll go into a weekly sell for a week. Looks like that's what they're going to do, unless they take it up today. The Canadian just seems to be slowly drifting up again over the last couple of days, and I didn't even see what the weekly was doing. Let me just take a look at the weekly on. Oh, I see the weekly. Yeah, the Canadian's not even moving when it comes to the weekly. I'll just show you real quick. See there, it's pretty much down there. So this is just probably profit taking more than anything else. And so there's your oil going sideways to nowhere. All right, let's take a look at the last four currencies that we chase after. First one we go after is South African Rand. Let's see where that is, right there. That's showing a little profit taking, I guess, or in this case here, they're starting to buy it a little bit. And it's going down in value. It's going down, so it's increasing in value against the dollar. So there's less rand to the dollar. You can see here a second day of a sell, but not much movement there. The weekly is holding up pretty well, so the pressure overall on a longer term week-to-week basis is obviously up more than it is down. Looking at the ruble, it was on the edge yesterday, trying to get into a sell. You can see, oh, it did get into the sell yesterday. So we're on a second day of the sell there. That you can see that right there. And the weekly is trying to turn up a little bit in here. I guess that's because of the sideways action we're seeing right there. And let's check her out on J4X. Right there. So that pressure's, yeah, that's sideways action. I'm just want to say things, and I know that I don't have any validity to say them, so I'm not going to say them. But I don't think I can say this. I feel very comfortable saying this. I don't think these markets have much energy to go anywhere. I think they're just trapped in our classic range that we've been following for over a year now. They're just kind of stumbling. There's no conviction. They know that they know that the American presidency and vice presidency are on the edge of being pushed into oblivion. The socialists in this country are falling apart. Things are really, I'd imagine, I don't see any particular reason why markets would want to move. You can see how the stock markets just keep on going up, but then they're paid to buy. That's what they're paid to do, and that's what they do. It's just their natural instinct to buy. I mean, when you ever see a recommendation, you see, 10 buys and one hold, or one sell, 30 buys and one sell and two neutrals. I mean, they're never, out there telling you sell, 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 sell. They're just telling you to buy, 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 buy. All right, let's check out the yen right there. There it is there. You can see it's trying to turn up. Still in that weekly buy. Again, it doesn't seem like, it's been in the weekly buy since back in early September, mid-September. Doesn't seem to be wanting to let go there either. So that pressure just stays the same over and over again. Last currency we look at is the Mexican peso against the dollar. But we're willing to look at any other currency anybody would like to see. We just do our normal 9 or 10 that we watched. Was that we watched the euro, we watched the Swiss, we go to the euro, to the cable, we watch 2 Turkish lira pairs, the dollar one and the euro one. So that's is that right? That's 5 right there. Then we jump over to Canada, that's 6. Then we do another 4, which is 10, and this is the last one we pay attention to, and this is the Mexican peso. You can see it's still holding up, still in a week. Oh, look at that! The weekly buy is moving back down again. That's that big drop a couple days ago, starting to really put that pressure on. We'll see if this holds up. And we went into the buy over here, climbed up nicely to there, went back down again, now climbed back up again. Something's brewing on that too. That product is not exactly exploding. We'll see how they carry that into Monday. See if we make it into a sell today. And that's it when it comes to the pairs trades. We From here we go back over to the metals complex for those that might be new here. And you're welcome to ask any question on any product, and we'll put it up on the screen and hunt it down. Let's go check out the metals now. Right there. And as you can see, let's do this. There we are. As you can see right there, you know, this is the oil. It was just sitting there, moving down. Let's see what natural gas is doing. There's natural gas. It's trying to go into a sell today now. Earlier today it was holding up fairly well in the buy, but today it's trying to push itself into the sell. You can see not getting into the weekly buy yet. No, they're going to have to do some real hard lifting to get this thing to get into the weekly buy. Maybe next week. Maybe this is just, you know, you can see it here. It's just been chopping for about 6 weeks now. And when we tighten it up a little bit more, you see that, you know, we went into a buy here, went into the sell up in here, went down, went up, and now we're trying to push into a daily sell as we speak. If they close it in a sell, maybe they come down and challenge this low or something like that, or at least get back to this low. I think they feel comfortable in the cold months here to at least hold it in the 5s or the high 4s. Then we go to take a look at heating oil, the other energy we follow. Right there, this is the January contract. And you can see there, that's in the daily sell for 2 days, and it is flirting with the weekly sell also. So it's trying to get in. It looks like it's going to be in a weekly sell if it doesn't lift up today. And since we see crude oil down, if they don't take that up, then that's going to go into a weekly sell also. So we're seeing a couple of these energies where they're backing off a little bit. And that's pretty much the energy complex of it all. Now what we'll do is we drift over to the metals complex, and there's the gold again. You can see it's trying to get plus. It is plus now. And it looks very comfortable, like it's going to close in a weekly buy, which is neat. Let me put that in there. We'll erase it if it doesn't happen. But more than likely it will, because of the height of it. And let me just save that. And so that's a nice sign for metals, long metal players. And then silver, doing the same thing, trying to get plus for the day. And that's going to stay in a weekly buy for a 3rd week. And then, let's check it out over here on J4X. There's the silver. I got the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 133 points. Just another all-time high. That's all it is. You can see here, silver is joining in with the crowd, you know, just like we are doing right there. Just part of the gang, that's all it is. Alright, now let's take a look at platinum. Oh no, let's do copper. There's copper right there. Copper drifting in that sell for a couple days here now. The weekly is right on the edge. It's trying. You can see right there. Now it's back to a minus. I mean, it's minus 0.0001, and now it's jumped from 2 to 3 to 5. So they're putting a little pressure onto the copper contract. Maybe they're selling some copper to pay some real estate. Who knows? Anything's possible. Now from there, we take a quick look at platinum. I think platinum's been in a weekly buy, and I believe this week it's pushing itself towards the sell. Nope. Okay, it's back in. It had dipped down, at least I thought it had, on Monday, but you can see here it's lifting back up. Now we just needed to, try to get more legs on it. Seems like this has been some type of basing area in here. Nice bottoming pattern here, same like here where you get the strength, same here. Took 4 or 5 days before they get rolling, but boy, when they do, it goes from basically 1950 to 1050, so good 100-point move out of that low over a 4 or 5 day period, 6 day period, something like that. Alright, so there is the metals complex and the energy complex. From there we can drift over to the stock indices. We're moving along pretty fast today because no one's asked any questions. Middle Ages mentioned a few things, which was really good. Thank you, Middle Age. Let's see now. Let's try to get rid of that. Let's try to take a look at, where's that? Right. Let's go to the Dow Jones Industrial Average right there. You see the Dow's at all-time highs right there. You know, daily buy for 2, 4. This is the 6th day. You know, weekly buy since October 9th. You know, down here in the 34,000 area, even 33,000 area. So basically, it went from the 33, almost 34,000 area to the 36,000 area over a, was that 5-week period, something like that. What was that? That's October 9th, yeah. So 5 weeks. So let's see, where's the next weekly? Right there, right there. That's 1 weekly. So that's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and this is the 4th week. So we're 4 weeks into the buy. So they're just reaching for, oh, look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is starting to take off again too. Let's take a look at that. I mean, it's at all-time highs. So I mean, you can see that there. That's an all-time high. That's an all-time high. That also is 4 weeks into this situation. This will be the 4th week, and Dow is actually 5 weeks into the situation. And you can see daily-wise, we've been in the daily buys 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. This is the 10th day in a daily buy. So they're not giving it up. They're window dressing to the end of the year. That's the way it looks to me. So now, take a look at the S&P 500 again at another all-time high this morning. And 4 full weeks it looks like with no problem. And 2, 4, this is the 6th day on the upside here. So they are not afraid to just keep on lifting this stuff. Just lift it and then lift it again. And you know, I was explaining to somebody this morning about window dressing, one of my traders. I was saying you know, they get away with that. They can window dress. They can, you know, funds can be underinvested in these go-go stocks, and in the last 2 months they can become balanced and then tell their investors that they are balanced and that they've been long, you know, Apple or, you know, Microsoft, you know, all year, you know, or for 3 years, but not necessarily fully balanced in it, in the sense of the portfolio, but they can load it up so it is balanced by the end of the year. So when they look at the year-end numbers, they go, oh, see that? They have the same percentage, so they must be doing really well. In fact, they're probably undervalued, and that's like, not undervalued, underinvested. And I keep on hearing that story all over the place, that there is a lot of hedge funds underinvested. And so that is the part of the melt up going on. There's nowhere to go. You know, dividends are getting smaller and smaller. Their job is to make some money somehow, so they've got to load up the boat. All right, because it has been very aggressive what we've been seeing. Now let's just take a quick ride over to the short term, since no one's asking any questions. And as you can see there, you can see the S&P, the Dow, and the NASDAQ. And you see the pressure is just up on the upside, and these are just intraday ticking charts. Let's see, what else can we look at here? All right, let's march over to, anybody want to see anything particular? If not, I think I'll go see if I can find something that's fascinating. Let's see. Let's show you, let's change this. Let's show you the Russell 2000, who has turned around, had been in a weekly buy for a while. Is that it right there? Yeah. It was in a weekly buy for like 6 or 7 weeks, something like that, since September 24th. It closed in a weekly buy down in the 2100 area. Now the product is trading in the 2400 area, or 2420 to be exact. So that's a 250 point move, or about 12% in just 2 months. Pretty aggressive there. It's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 7th week. And it just took off again this week. You can see how we were at 23, we closed at 2,300 on Friday of last week. And you can see now we're at 24.19 as we speak. We were just 20. And this is the Russell 2000, which is the weakest of all the stock indices, and it has the cheapest little companies, like in the sense of like $2 billion, you know, $3 billion. I don't think they allow anything more than, if they allow anything more than like 5 billion, I don't even think it's that. I think it might be a threshold of in the 2s or 3s or something like that. But and then there could be like 700 million, and so it has a couple thousand companies in there that are trying to become the next Microsoft and the Apple computer and the Intel and so forth. And this particular product is showing us that's exactly what's going on, is that they have not been able to knock it down. It's stayed strong. Matter of fact, I saw some people interviewed as it was taking off last week, and it was like, oh, you know, I've been waiting. It's been trapped in a range, and we've been waiting for it to come out of that range, and now it looks like it's starting to. Sure enough, it did. Let's see, what else can we say about that? That's the Russell. And it's the cheapest of the cheapest stocks. It's the little companies. You know, it has like, you know, GameStop is in there. You know, things like that. Those meme stocks that they talk about, and Robinhood and so forth. They're buying AMC theaters. You know, companies that are, you know, have almost went into bankruptcy level of price, and now they're, you know, the investors are out there, you know, buying these stocks again. And you just got to wonder, when is that shoe going to drop? At least that's how my head kind of functions. I was like, oh, when's that shoe going to drop? Let's see, what else we got here now? So we've seen the stock indices. And what else is there to look at here? Let's see. Go over and take a look at some of the commodities. Commodities have been kind of interesting. They're a good surrogate for not a replacement, but a substitute for dollars. You know, everything's, you know, soybeans and corn and wheat, they're all traded in dollars. So if you buy corn, American corn, that means you're short dollars. So if you're trying to short the dollar, instead of getting in trouble with the Federal Reserve or the U.S. Treasury, you just buy corn, but you don't go buy dollars, and so you're short dollars. That's one way of playing it. You can always go out and do something else to hedge that, and that's what the derivatives really open the doorway to, is that type of thing there. So let's go take a look at the commodities. Okay, let's go look at soybeans first. And let's see, where's that? Get rid of those. And you can see here, there's soybeans, and let's take a look at soybeans on J4X. There they are right there. And they've been in a sell for weeks upon weeks upon weeks. You know, all the way back in here, they went into a sell in the 1350-ish area, 1325 area, and they've drifted all the way down to the 12, a little underneath $12, and then bounced up a little bit. But we're still in that weekly sell. You know, the daily protected us. You know, got you covered at the $12 area, and it ran up to just $12.50 or $12.60. Hasn't been that explosive, and slipped right back into the sell here. And as you can see now, on the third day, it's, you know, making about another 30-40 cents since the last time we went into a sell. Oh, I know what I did too. You know, Rob and I wrote an article yesterday, and what we did is we showed how, you know, some of the modern indicators are just not as good as our work. You know, we were looking at the MACD. Maybe we'll go take a look at that. I just want to check out a few more things on the commodity side. And let's see, what else can we look at over here that I find interesting? Corn. let's see, here's December corn. And you can see it doing the same thing. It's doing a little rollover. The weekly is holding up. It's been in a weekly buy. Now this is the classic quantitative analysis. You know, soybeans have been going down, and here we have corn in a weekly buy going up. So soybeans in a weekly sell going down, and corn. You know, a lot of people go, oh, okay, you buy corn, you buy soybeans. Don't worry about it. You know, they're all moving together. No, you can see through our math that our math can pick up the difference between one product and another. So whereas, you know, soybeans have been in a sell, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7 weeks. The corn has been in a buy. Let's just go back to soybeans. So 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is a 12th week in a sell. And so you can see it's just been on a downwardly slope. If you thought just because corn was going up in value, you could be long soybeans. If you're not following our quantitative stuff, forget it. You're going to end up getting burned. And so in the end, you can see here, same thing with the wheat. Wheat's acting just like the corn. It's 7 days. Oh no, this is going to be 6. Is it 6 now? Here we go. 2, 4, 6. Yeah, let's see if it's one more over. Yeah. So it's 6 weeks, not 7. Whereas corn was the leader out of it all. And wheat has gone from $7 to $8 over that same time period. Matter of fact, you should see oats. We had farmers trying to tell us, you know, we have some farming clients. They were trying to convince us over and over again. Oats will not see $4. Well, hell, they're going after $8 at this point. Today, they are trading up. It's trading at $7.59.75 as we speak. All right. You know, the high now, the all-time high is right there at $7.76. We're trading at $7.59.75. So they're only 17 cents underneath the all-time high. You can see the thing is trying to bottom here. The weekly has no desire. It was at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. So it's gone from the $5 area to the $7.50 area in the 2, 4, 6, 8 weeks. It's gone from 5-ish to almost 8. And I guess this is the starvation of not the play on the word, but of food staples. You know, people are looking for food staples. As a matter of fact, I just saw one of our major cereal companies, Kellogg maybe, they are importing rice or Rice Krispies, something like that. They can't produce them here in the States right now. They don't have enough material. And so no wonder we're seeing things like oats trading in the high 7s going for $8. They're marching along like wheat, like as if, and this is a very thin product. I mean, they only trade 3, 4, 5,000 contracts a day. You know, whereas, let me just take a quick look, but I can give you a great general idea of what we're talking about here. On a given day, let me just go in and look at them. Like corn, let's see, market data, futures. All right, so like corn, where's it at? I know it's here somewhere. Why am I missing it? There it is. So corn, the average daily volume is 23,000 contracts in December. Okay. Now, in oats, the average contract, you know, the volume every day is 2,700 contracts, you know, 10 times less. March oats, 1,700 contracts, that's it. I mean, so they're not exactly, you know, rocking the world here in these products, in this particular product, but it keeps on climbing because obviously there's no inventory. Now, think about that. I found it to be very curious, and that is that, and then let me just go over to soybeans, but imagine that a product can climb like this on just a couple thousand contracts a day in volume, and they've been doing it for weeks upon months upon months. That really says a lot, you know. It says that the supply chain is enormously tight. Now, like soybeans, you know, Dukascopy trades soybeans. The November contract has a volume of now, I mean, almost nothing. November beans are almost nothing, 1,200, 120 contracts. The January contract is 12,000, okay? Open interest is 262,000. So, um, you know, there just isn't much action there left in that product. But imagine how low a volume in an oats that can go from 5 to 8. How much desperation there must be for the product itself. I mean, that's, you know, the supply and demand. It is amazing to see that. All right, what else do we got to talk about here? We were watching, what other products have we watched? We saw the metals, we saw the, I'm trying to make sure I'm covering everything. We've seen all 10 currencies that we look at. What else can we look at here? Anybody want to see anything particular? Middle Age, you up for anything? We can always go over to like the Nikkei. We've been looking at the Nifty 50 in India. I'm trying to think what else we've been looking at lately. Very fascinating stuff. And it seems like all the stock indices are just heading towards just higher highs of the day. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, the high today is 36,172. It's trading at 54. It's only 18 points away. It's nothing. It's up 152 points at the moment. It's a lot of strength. Same thing with the S&P 500. It's up 24 points today. The all-time high is 697.50. It's trading at 697.25. It's just now it's trading at 50. It's actually trading at all-time highs at this moment. Let's see if you can see that. Where's that mouse at? There it is. There it is right there. Now he just made another all-time high to 75. So it trades in quarters and ticks. And that's, see, the last there is 50. No, it's just 75, and that's the high there, the all-time high. 75, it's at 75. Now it makes another all-time high. So these are unique window dressing times, and it's just the beginning of November. Wow, how many hearts and souls are they going to rip out by the time the end of the month occurs? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we see 37,000 Dow by that point. And where are we at now? 36,162. When, you know, I could see them easily adding another 1,000 points. No problem whatsoever. Looks like they're going for the all-time high in NASDAQ as we speak. They just tapped it. I think they just tapped it. Let's just double check here. No, 2375 is the high. It just traded at 21 or 22 and then stopped, and now it's at 16, as you see right there. And there's your, oh no, there it was, got up to 18 and a half. Did not get into the 21, 22. All right. You know, I think that what we're really seeing more than anything else is just they're buying dollars, maybe because of the melt up. So with a market melt up going on, and we've talked about it, and people have suggested it, but I think we're actually in the thralls of it. In other words, it's just, you know, it's just happening. It, you know, it's happening in the dollar. It's happening in stock indices, and I don't know if they can stop. You know, there's not much of a reason to believe that they can. What fascinates me more than anything else is we sit there and we see the gold and the silver and everything else not being able to really get any real, you know, conviction, some strength into those things. Let's see what else. If nothing else, traders, I guess we could start to sing. I guess we're at that end of the. We're at the end of the week. We're at the end of the show. We are, where are we at? What are we doing here? I guess that's about it. We have Monday. I don't know if there's any real news. I thought today was an important day with the volume of unemployment. It shows that the economy is getting firmer, which normally threatens. That's why the first inclination was to see the NASDAQ stocks fall. Anything very interest sensitive. And that's probably why they're buying dollars. And that's why we're seeing the weakness. And when we see this weakness in the Swiss and everything else, it's like, wow. And, you know, it looked like they were really going to try to do something. And now we're just seeing, you know, lows, 5 and 6 and 7 weak lows, and maybe even more. Let's just take a look at, I want to just take a look at the low in the euro. Is that like a 3-month low? What is that? 5-month low? So it looks like it's just like a 3-month low, maybe. That's what. Yeah, look at that. Could be even more. There's August. Yeah, we might be looking at, like, you know, 6-month lows, 8-month lows. Look at that. We haven't been there since 2020. What period is that? October. So it's a melt up, traders, and that is all we can basically say. All right, traders, catch you all on Monday. It's a quiet day. We really searched to look at everything today, but I guess everybody was exhausted from the wild week. Happy trails to you until we meet again, which will be Monday. Happy trails to you, to all our quantitative Dukascopy friends. Catch you later, traders. Be safe, be smart. Ta-ta for now.